Hi, I'm NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series driver Stephen Mawazzi, and no, I've never driven a NASCAR Cup car. But I don't have to know that it's the biggest piece of shit NASCAR has ever seen. Look, I went on a generational rant during our Above the Yellow Line show. The past 2 weeks have further gone down this rabbit hole of proving to me this thing has got to go. I sent out a tweet which somehow was met with moderate controversy from people who love the next-gen car racing that we're getting, about how what's going to kill our sport is not cutting cable. It's not an aged-out demographic. It's a crappy product. I've been watching NASCAR since I was 7 or 8 years old, and I've loved every minute of it. I'm at a point where sometimes I don't turn on the TV on Sunday anymore. And it's at a point where how can we continue to do this to our core fan base week in and week out? People were saying, oh, well, you could pass. Once the tires fell off, it was great racing, yada, 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 this, that, and the other. Thank you for that, RJ, from backstage. Do you guys understand that in stage 1, William Byron got moved? Him and Bowman made contact in 7. Byron lost 2 spots. From that point forward, not one position changed inside of the top 20 until pit cycle started. Not one. Not a single car, whether it be first, whether it be SVG in second, who was not leading the race at this time and by far had the best car, whether it be 20th place, I think Ty Dillon, didn't matter. Not one person could make a move. And in stage 2, people were posting clips of how Kyle Busch went from 11th to 6th on a restart. Yeah, because 3 cars stayed out on 30-lap old tires and caused chaos. After that, nothing. No movement in the field. And my frustration with our sport is not the car sucks. That'll happen. Some years the racing's not great. Sometimes the product's not great. My frustration with the sport is that we do the same goddamn thing every single week and expect it to change. Just try something. If we up the horsepower by 200 and it was the same exact shit, guess what? I would watch and I'd be happy to watch, even if it was the same thing, because we're trying to fix it. We have some of the world's greatest engineers, marketers, and leaders, and somehow we find a way to do the same thing and point at this product while it sits next to the Xfinity race car and say, this is what I want to watch. So without further ado, let's bring in our 2 colleagues. RJ, Mason, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Doing pretty solid. How about you, Mason Maggio?
Shut up, Mason.
Yeah. It's been a day. It's been a day. But we're here. We're here to talk Watkins Glen this past weekend and preview to Richmond. Obviously, Richmond is very exciting, very fun short track that's on the schedule. And obviously, we got a great guest in Austin Green, who's become a part-time Xfinity Series driver who has found a lot of success on the road courses and is learning the ovals as we speak. So really cool to have him on here soon. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about Watkins Glen as far as on the Cup side. Now, Xfinity and trucks, crapshoot. That's the best way that I could put it. That was essentially a plate race
conversation because we got Austin Green coming. So we could talk to him about that one. But the truck stuff, let's talk. I mean, we can talk about that before.
Yeah, I mean, trucks were incredibly chaotic. I'm honestly shocked. I mean, felt like I was watching a plate race with some of the guys that were all of a sudden cracking the top 20 because of guys wrecking out and dropping out of the race. Some of that is just because road courses are hard on the equipment. That's no secret, right? But I mean, it was unbelievable seeing some of the guys that were getting into the top 20 there that didn't have the pace all day long, but because they survived, they were able to get good finishes. And I mean, same thing goes to Xfinity, but we're not going to get into that yet. But it was really interesting. From 2 chaotic races to a snooze fest of a Cup race. I know some people were saying they wanted a snooze fest of a Cup race, considering the last 2 days were crazy. But I didn't want it to be like that
yes.
hardcore of a nap, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it's there's a lot to unfold obviously between all three races this past
That
weekend. And then
that nap went harder than RJ's face shave, which is new for the record. Everybody,
yeah.
RJ and that shaved face, beautiful. Yeah, I don't know, man. And I missed the Iowa week. I was not there for our discussion on Iowa, which is that sucks. But again, Iowa.
You showed up.
I did show up for a brief 2 minutes there. I had a couple of margaritas, so I was feeling it. This, by the way, straight liquor. I have decided to resort to drinking instead of watching NASCAR. Thanks. Less painful that way. I'm joking. It's water, guys. I mean, but even Iowa, right? The Xfinity race at Iowa, cinema. I mean, yes, a little wrecky, but cinema. Great racing. Loved it. The Cup race, we had to watch stage one. Brad K had to have been 2 or 3 tenths faster than Byron on raw speed alone. And we watched 49 laps of him trying fruitlessly to get by until he finally literally essentially touched him and moved him up the racetrack to get around. I mean, we've taken our best product and made it our biggest failing, and it kills me every single time I see it because I feel delusional because I feel like I say this so often on this show. We've built an intermediate car and moved away from intermediates. Over a sixth of the schedule is road courses. Over a sixth of the schedule is short tracks. And about a sixth of the schedule is super speedways. Do you know what suck in the next gen car? So Lord help me, because I swear to God, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack expressing my frustrations because I don't understand. I simply cannot fathom how the execs watch. And by the way, people give the truck series shit all the time. That was their first real disaster class of the season. Like for the most part, their racing has been really clean this year. And what we were in a record of no overtime finishes at one point in the trucks, right? Like it's been a very, for the most part, clean season for the truck series. If you watch that product outside of the TV production and you watch the product going on in Xfinity, including the TV production, you look at Cup and I just don't get it. I don't get how we're not already like kicking this car out the door, just working on the next one. I don't want to watch an IMSA car, honestly. Like I'm sick of it. We're getting sports car racing at this point more than we are stock car racing. Dirty aerodynamics should never play this. Always should be important in stock car racing. Should never be this important in stock car racing. That's it.
It's unfortunate that the racing is so different across the 3 series. I mean, that's going to happen, but different in a bad way to whereas you can do so many more things in the truck series and the Xfinity series and not so much at all in the Cup series. Thought we'd open the show with Stephen Malazzi giving a nice little rant. Thought that was a little different. I think you nailed it right on the head there. As now we will dive into some Watkins Glen stuff and bringing Austin Green on here, who before we even bring him in here, obviously in just a little bit, 7th place run at Watkins Glen. He has now done that multiple times this year and over his career in the Xfinity series. His early career obviously has brought himself on as a huge young talent, won an ARCA race this year. So it's going to be awesome to talk to him. Got to give a big shout out to Maggio 15 and the Density Energy pouches, which we got, again, as we've said on the show, some awesome stuff planned for Daytona. Stephen Malazzi bought his Spirit Airlines flight. Will be coming.
Yes. Density Energy, the official product of staying awake during the NASCAR Cup Series races.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Nah, to get you your energy, got you feeling good. Whether you're working out or you're just trying to get through your day, doesn't matter. Density Energy patches have got you covered. So, like RJ said, we got some cool stuff in the works, not only with them, but with the show. So, a lot of exciting stuff. Stay tuned.
Mason, is it true? I hear that Density Energy is working on a Mason Maggio flavored pouch. I'm hearing that this is the
We're
truth.
back.
I don't know. I spoke to some leakers on the R&D team who said that they have been extensively studying the scent and flavor of Mason Maggio to come up with the new top best-selling flavor. Code Maggio15. Dead Sea Energy pouches, the best. I mean, who else could make an energy pouch flavored like Mason Maggio? So, yeah, I mean, I'm ready to talk to Austin Green. I'm really excited for this guest. Here's why. Let me tell you why. Oh, is he here?
No.
Oh, here's why I'm ready to talk to him. I think Austin Green, I'm going to say this before he gets here so he doesn't hear me say it. I think Austin Green is the best road course driver in NASCAR. I do. Maybe the only one I think who is better, and I think this is an obvious answer, is SVG. I mean, look at the top 10 on road courses, and it's all Junior Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, Jordan Anderson Racing. I mean, he takes that car, and he doesn't do it once. Every freaking time he gets in the car, he is 10th or better. It's actually unbelievable. I truly can't wait to hear more about him and his story, and I'm very excited for this guest this week. So it's kind of kick-ass. Like, the guy can wheel a stock car around. Give him one race in a Junior Motorsports car, I bet you he wins. And that's nothing against Jordan Anderson Racing. I mean, obviously, it's a different ballpark, right? Like, Jordan Anderson Racing is a phenomenal race team, but I mean, you put him in SVG's 9 car, I bet you he goes out there and wins.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about Austin Green is you look at his stat line, he's got four finishes inside the top 11 this season, and those have all been in his last 4 races that he has run. Last year, he was able to run Vegas, Rockingham as the ovals. This year he was able to run Vegas and Rockingham. Last year he ran Bristol and Homestead. Didn't go super well for him, but he won an oval race this year in the ARCA series, driving that Pinnacle car to victory lane at Charlotte, which was awesome. We'll talk to him about that as well. And then last year, getting that amazing 4th place run at Sonoma Speedway last year was obviously incredible for them. Before we even bring him in here, I wanted to talk about something real quick, or I wanted to watch this video of how hard this is. This is it. Woo! Now, this is something that we can kind of lead into talking to him about. And it's something that we saw a few times in the Xfinity race. It caused probably the 2 biggest wrecks we saw on Saturday, which were this one big as in just a hit for SVG, and then the one with Austin Hill and Michael McDowell. You got 2 incidents where it's like the car on the outside here of the runoff is attempting to move back onto the racetrack, but there's no room to move back onto the racetrack. So there's still 2 separate incidents, but kind of baseline, kind of the same thing. What did we see here in this one versus the other one where obviously Austin Hill kind of massacred the field? Did admit to massacring the field, but not intentionally like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so I grew up in go-karts, okay? And in go-karts, they teach you, hey, don't go to places where the track runs out on you because it's not somebody else's job to let you back on, right? And that always created a lot of respect in people who grew up on asphalt kart racing because if you touch wheel to wheel like that, you're just going to flip pretty much. Like that's how it worked in go-karts. We don't have seatbelts in those things, and we're going, 80 miles an hour down front straightaways at times. So it created a different type of respect. In stock cars, with this move in particular, okay, off turn 7, I feel like this is very traditional because this line here, you can't see my mouse, but where McDowell is a very natural racing line. Like that's where people track out to a lot of times on exit of 7. And I don't feel like SVG, this feels more like a racing incident to me. Like if it were me, I just would have left Zilich more room. Maybe Zilich came up a little fast. Just felt like 2 people fighting over the same real estate. And look at how side by side they truly are. Now, if you have the other clip queued up, which you probably
great job today, hanging in. Look, big crash.
Oh!
McDowell, Sawalich. There was contact with Austin Hill. Taylor Gray.
That's expensive to watch.
It's
not over, though.
actually getting more expensive because they're still piling.
I mean, why would he do that?
Let's watch it one more time.
You know who he is.
Let's do it.
Right. I mean, that's not side by side to me. You're not side by side. You're not fighting for that real estate. And you're at a place. Can you pause it right when the video starts?
Hold on. Let's pause it. Let's pause it. Can we? All right. We're going to pause it right there.
Yeah. Let him
we're
in.
We're going to ask Austin Green how he made it through this. Austin,
Oh,
welcome to the show. How are you doing, my man, first of all?
Great. Another random Tuesday evening.
It is, in fact, a random Tuesday evening. We just happen to come together some of these Tuesday evenings and do a show and talk about NASCAR with NASCAR drivers. So, Stephen Malazzi here, Mason Maggio, occasional Xfinity racer, Stephen Malazzi, occasional truck racer this weekend at Richmond, I believe. Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome. Glad to hear. So we were just talking about kind of some of the different incidents we saw during the Xfinity race. So before we jump into a bunch of strictly Austin Green stuff, I want to talk about how you made it through this incident, because you're going to pop up here in a second, I believe.
Right there.
Yep. There he is.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing when this is happening? Because there was a lot of chatter on Twitter after the race that this is kind of a spot where not only is it kind of a blind spot, but some of the radio communication is out as well. What is going through your head when you're going through something like this, and also your spotter's head?
Yeah, so thankfully we had a fourth spotter there in turn 6. And yeah, I don't know, I just kind of exited the carousel, wide open, grab third gear, and then I see the 11 get hooked, knock the fence down, and then come back on the track. And then at that point, all I see is just dirt and smoke. So kind of blind. And then thankfully, Tanner Berryhill was spotting for me in that corner. So he kind of navigated me through just kind of where they're at. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Once he got hooked right there, I checked up, and then I get hit from behind, I think from the 48. So then I kind of sped up because I knew there was a whole pack of cars coming. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just try to get out of there as quick as possible. But yeah, it was pretty blind for sure. I don't know if y'all have seen Eckes's onboard.
Yeah,
it's pretty much what you saw, just cloud of dirt, and that's pretty much it.
Did you shit your pants?
No, but I did make a joke about that. Like, yeah, afterwards, I think I was like, yeah, that's definitely a Code Brown moment for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what do you think about the move? Do you think Austin Hill was somewhere he shouldn't have been? Do you think it's his right to fight for that space? How do you feel about it?
I don't know. I mean, I think it was definitely a racing deal. I think, you can do both sides of the story. Like 21 could have lifted, but then the 11 probably could have moved more to the right. So I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in that position, so I can't really speak too much on it, but I think it was – I don't think anything malicious happened. I think it was just a racing incident.
Yeah. Do you kind of view that as like somewhat of a difference between NASCAR racing on road courses as maybe other, professions like Trans Am or open wheel racing, where it's like maybe in another racing discipline, that spot's kind of just given up, to whereas NASCAR, we were looking at the Connor Zilich and Shane Van Gisbergen incident as well. And then you have that with Austin Hill and Michael McDowell. It's kind of a thing where it's more so in NASCAR, you're more so going for the spot, but also using the runoff, unlike the other disciplines.
Yeah, I think obviously the first two stages, I think everyone's pretty cordial with each other. And then obviously the third stage is kind of everyone just kind of goes for it. But I don't know. I mean, you get down to a certain amount of laps, and you got to go. So, like I said, I mean, looking back on it, I'm sure the 21 probably would have lifted or wish he would have lifted and then try to get him in the next corner. But I don't know. Like I said, I think it was just a racing deal. Stage 3, a couple laps to go, just fighting for a win.
boys. Mason.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Steven.
Oh, I was waiting for you to say something. You usually
Oh.
chime in right about now, but if you got nothing,
That's
I'll
true.
chime in. I got
No, I
plenty.
mean, I was just gonna kind of go away from obviously the Watkins Glen carnage and kind of focus on just the year you've had, Austin. Obviously, been very successful, right? Multiple finishes in the top 10 in your select race Xfinity Series schedule. Got a win in the ARCA Series, which is huge to do at Charlotte, right? That brings out a good bit of competition out there. So, kind of talk to us about your year and kind of what you've been building up towards, and what the rest of the year might have in store for you as you continue to build and obviously have great success.
Yeah, it definitely didn't really start off how I'd like. Had some troubles in the beginning, but then thankfully turned that around. So had a good couple string of races, a couple top tens, I think. Where was it? Sonoma, we were 11th, but had a couple penalties there. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, just looking forward to the rest of the year, and hopefully we can, keep kind of stringing along this these good finishes that we've been having.
Yeah, fantastic finishes, by the way. Obviously, 7th to getting a 7th place finish to cap off that crazy race at Watkins Glen. You've done that a few times this year, and you have 4 top 11s this season, but they've all been in your last 4 races. You talk about how you didn't start the year off how you wanted to. Does it feel better now to be in this spot where it's like, okay, we've rifled off 4 consistent finishes now. Maybe we just got that bad luck out of the way, and now we're kind of on a roll here.
Yeah, I think we've definitely got the ball rolling. Obviously, Coda didn't really go too well. Had a couple flat tires, had a couple other issues. So that one really kind of stung. And then on the oval side, it was just, completely new to me and new to the team as well. So I think the more we can do that stuff, the more we can kind of build on that. And but yeah, no, the summer races have been great. It's been a whole bunch of road courses. So I don't know, like I said earlier, just hopefully we can continue to have the success later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for some people who might not know your background and your story, how did you get so good at road course racing? I mean, you weren't here for this. I did say this. RJ can attest to this. I said I think you might be the second best road course driver in NASCAR right now. I said it. I said if you put yourself in a JRM car, I think you could win an Xfinity Series race in like. And by the way, your team does a phenomenal job. The 32 team does a phenomenal job with what they do. That's not anything against them. Obviously, JRM is a different ball game, right? But I mean, you consistently are up there battling Gibbs cars, battling Haas cars, battling JRM cars. How did you get so good at what you do?
Yeah, so I don't know. I've heard it time and time again where I'm grouped in like the road course ringer category, which I guess isn't a bad thing, but I don't know if I kind of want it to stick because I mean I didn't really grow up doing road courses.
Yeah.
I grew up doing ovals and like the summer shootout and late models and stuff like that. So short tracks and that was kind of my background. I didn't really get into the road course stuff until 23 when I ran full time with Peterson Racing, who I'm still with now, on the TA2 side. So I think having a year to do that, and then we did a little bit last year in 24. I don't know. I think just kind of having that experience with a heavy stock car on a road course kind of definitely helped and gave you an advantage. But you look at like in 23, it was me, Zilich, Brent Cruz, Connor Mozak. I think that was pretty much it. I mean, Gio Ruggiero maybe. So I mean, there was like a little group of us that all ran TA2, and then now we're doing the NASCAR stuff. So I think that has kind of definitely helped on the road course side. So, but yeah, no, that was really the first road course experience I ever had.
Yeah, obviously from a long line of stock car heritage too. What do your dads and uncles think about you? Think about your driving style. Think about your success on the road courses.
Yeah, I think they're definitely proud. I always kind of lean on them, every race. Probably more so on the ovals than the road course. I don't, they really didn't have that many road courses back in their day.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, they're great tools to have. I remember before Charlotte, for the ARCA Charlotte race, I've been to Charlotte, but I've never done the mile and a half. I've done the Roval, I've done the summer shootout. So just kind of asking those guys and just figuring out like the little things, like the bumps in 3 and 4. I don't know. Like I said, I think they're great tools to have, and obviously very thankful for that.
Yeah, how cool was that to get that win at Charlotte? It is the NASCAR homeland, right, where everything is based at, or most things are based at. You get that win on the oval, not an easy win by any means. Nothing is, especially when the ARCA series heads to some ovals. It gets pretty wicked out there. We were able to keep it up front and hold on to that victory. How cool was that to get yourself a NASCAR, NASCAR sanctioned victory, we'll say.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a special one for sure. Obviously, it being my home race, my first time on the big track at Charlotte. Growing up, like I said, running the summer shootout, you always want to, as a kid, you always want to race on the big track, and going to races as a kid and just seeing all that. So just to get the opportunity to do that race was obviously a dream come true for one. And then to have the success and dominance that we had in the race was even better. So, but no, everybody at Pinnacle Racing was great to work with, and Overplay Games for coming on board for that race. It was their first time in Victory Lane, my first time in Victory Lane, I guess in a NASCAR sanctioned race. So, like I said, it was just super special. Obviously, to win at home, you have your whole family there. It was my sister's birthday that day as well, so that was even more special.
Does she do any racing?
No, I keep telling her she should have, but no, she works in racing. She works with Michelin and IMSA.
Wow,
So,
wow.
Yeah, she's always traveling.
So deep rooted racing for everybody's in the business. Everybody's in the business.
Right.
Are your dads still officials? Are your dad and uncle still officials?
My dad is, yes. Uncle Mark, he is still working with Rev Racing.
Got it.
Jeff is retired. He moved back to Kentucky, and he's like a farmer now. He's enjoying life one day at a time.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Josh Rayom just texted me and said to tell you that he says he loves me some David Green safety inspection to keep us safe. That is That is what he says. So
I've heard many stories from a lot of people how Dad is very nitpicky on certain things. So I guess
he gave me a lecture about my Hans a few months ago. He said the straps of my Hans were substantially too long, and while they were within the legal limit, that I should shorten those up because it's the best for the protection, right? And he gave me probably like a 3 or 4 minute lecture on it. Like he was very like, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. It's good to know that somebody cares that I don't break my neck while driving a race car. But he was very passionate about the extra few centimeters on that Hans strap for sure. So.
Oh yeah, I hear it all the time. Trust me.
Hey, Jeff Green was a staple of the Xfinity series, man. Like, I mean, you talk about obviously the guy that has a lot of history in the series, but when I was growing up, you had your Jeff Greens, your Mike Blisses in the series, where it's just like I turned on the TV every weekend and I knew they were going to go out there and leave it all on the line. I'd never heard any personal inspection stories, Steven. I hadn't heard that Hans one, but I'm sure you had a great time. Okay.
Yes, you were there. I don't know if you were maybe you weren't at inspection, but this happened at Homestead. So
was it the tech before practice when you guys almost didn't make it on the track? Is that why?
Yes, but that's not what we got stopped for. We got stopped for
Okay.
everything else. And legitimately everything else in the universe we got stopped for, including obviously the length of my Hans straps. But yeah, I also my other David Green story, which is totally random, is he drove the 4 car in NASCAR Thunder 2004, which was my video game, and I used to get into it with that fucker all the time. Like it was him, it was Kevin Grubb, it was Brett Bodine. In my NASCAR approval email to Brett Bodine, I told him I used to wreck him all the time. Why I thought that would help me in my approval email, I got no idea. But yeah, I don't. That's the only other David Green story I've got. But crazy to hear that. I mean, that's got to be a huge help when you're trying to catapult your career to the top, to have some great mentors on your shoulder. So
is Austin Green in the game? NASCAR 25. Are you on
Maybe.
the
Maybe. I don't know.
Shoot. Now we gotta
Me
go
and you
look.
both, man. Me and you both.
Well, Mason
It'd be
Baggio,
cool.
we know wasn't on the initial draft. Oh, there he is. Yeah, you're in the 87, man. Austin Green.
yeah,
NASCAR 25.
yes.
Sweet.
There he is. So
He'll be
that's
winning road course races. His driver slider's got to be like 91 for road courses for sure.
yeah, I wonder how they're doing the driver ratings. If they're doing it like overall, they're doing it specific like.
Yeah, me too. And no matter what, I've got to be in the 30s, maybe high 20s. Like I'm down there, but I don't know.
You'll be one of the first cars that you lap when you set the AI difficulty to easy. Probably they'll put you back there automated.
the Norm Benning Stephen Malazzi 35th place battle is gonna go insane. It's gonna go crazy.
So I gotta ask Austin. I don't know if you saw any of we started talking about that big wreck. I got a photo gallery spam from Ryan Ellis I woke up to the other day, and I don't know if you saw his car or if you saw in the mirror a car fly in the sky. That was Josh Bilicki, but this was the guy on the other end of it, apparently, Ryan Ellis. I asked him how close his head was to the windshield, but it kind of makes me ask you: have you wrecked an Xfinity car yet, or what was your worst wreck you've had in an Xfinity car or a Trans Am car? Have you been a part of these huge carnages, or you just missing them all the time?
I don't know. I mean, I think the only time I've wrecked was Bristol last year. We blew a right front, I don't know, 50, 60 laps in, smoked the fence, killed the car. So I guess it wasn't that bad, but I guess that's really the only time I wrecked. I got caught up in that green, white checkered wreck at Rockingham. I should have chose the bottom, but I chose the top, and everybody went up, so I had nowhere to go. Other than those two, I think that's pretty much it for Xfinity. But yeah, back to the Ryan Ellis deal. I'd like under that red flag. I was talking with Trey Poole, my spotter, and we're just talking about random things. It's a long red flag. So they had a big screen because we were stopped at the entrance of the bus stop. So they had a big screen kind of near there. So I was watching that, and they had replays and everything. And I remember I said something. I was like, I didn't know the severity of it. And that's when he kind of said, everybody in the back just didn't really stop. So I don't know. It's thankfully he's okay. Kind of after watching the replay and kind of hearing, what happened from other people, to get a car landed on you is not the best deal to happen. So like I said, thankfully, he's okay. And obviously the safety of the cars now are just so much better than they used to be before.
Yeah, 1000%. It's It's a scary wreck to see that happen at any time. I know we go to Daytona in a few weeks where things can get very wicked, but I wanted to switch the subject real quick, and everyone can kind of key into this because I don't know if we even talked about it on the show when they announced it, but NASCAR not going back to Mexico next year. They want to go back in 2027. We'll see if it happens. You got to race in Mexico this year. Nice little snapshot here with the sign in the background. What was your experience like? I know you were part of the group that was delayed on the runway and the engine blew up on the airplane, I believe, via your tweet. Yeah, it was this one right here. Engine blew up going down the runway to Mexico City. Not ideal. But besides, well, you can talk about that experience too, but what was your favorite takeaway from that weekend? I know we're going to miss it next year. Hopefully we're back in a few years, but how was it being down there in Mexico City and being able to come out with a good result?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. It was my first time out of the country, so that was obviously interesting and cool to just to kind of be down there. And obviously the travel issues that we had was not ideal, but once we got there, everything was great. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the track was super cool. The thing for me, maybe I just didn't prepare enough for it. Maybe I just didn't even think about it. But the altitude difference, like in the car, it was like hard to breathe per se. Or like I would lose my breath quicker than I would normally. So that was definitely something to get used to. But no, yeah, the plane situation was a little scary in the moment. Didn't really know what happened until the pilot kind of told us. I thought we blew a tire is what it sounded like. And yeah, we were at the end of the runway. You know, you're on the runway for a good bit, just gaining speed, hauling, and then the front lifts up. And right when that happened, we heard a loud boom. And yeah, I mean, I will say the pilot was driving it though, because I mean, I didn't know if there was a wall or trees or a field or what, but I mean, he was on it. I mean, this thing's squirrely and yeah, so it was a little scary, but thankfully we all made it out and made it there in time. But yeah, like I said, Mexico was cool. I thought the track was really, really great. The race had a couple brake issues, but I think we finished 7th, so not terrible. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, we're not going back next year, but hopefully in 27.
Hopefully. I know Mason Maggio is probably going to take the easy way out here. He didn't have to go through all the travel issues this year, so now he's going to, go 2 years, in 2 years once they figure it out. Isn't that right, Mason? Because I know Mason was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I didn't have to deal with that airplane stuff," which, not ideal, but.
Yeah, I was supposed to go, but had some travel logistics come up, and some things happened with the sponsor, and it didn't come into fruition. But apparently, I was still on the flight list to get back into the country, but not out of the country. So that was interesting. Getting some calls from some friends early that morning, being like, "Hey, where are you at? Why are you not on the plane?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm sleeping in my bed in North Carolina. I'm just trying to catch some extra Z's while I got the weekend going." So yeah, that was definitely a fun phone call to receive. But kind of going back to the Trans Am stuff, Austin, obviously that's a much different atmosphere and form of racing than I think a lot of people think, right? It's but the cars are very similar to a stock car. They're almost like a pro late model, but built for road courses, right? With straight rail components. So kind of talk to us a little bit about that, just the kind of compare and contrast, that world to what you're doing in Xfinity and ARCA. So, and just kind of give, the viewers and the fans a perspective of just how different, maybe similar they are, whether that's the car or just the way, both shows are run.
Yeah, I think, the TA2 stuff, I've always said, obviously they're completely different cars from Xfinity, but at the end of the day, it's still a heavy stock car on a road course. So, I think that's where a lot of the, seat time and experience comes from. That definitely helps. Like on the TA2 side, we go to Watkins Glen, Coda, Sonoma, and I think that's it for the NASCAR side. But no, I mean, like I said, they're different in their own aspects. Like the TA2 side is obviously less power, more downforce, no wheel hop, and those things you can kind of overdrive it per se. Whereas Xfinity, you kind of have to back everything up. It's so much heavier. The wheel hop's kind of unpredictable. I don't know, but like I said, to get that experience with that in that type of car with that type of weight on a road course, I think definitely almost puts a leg up on everybody else. But now with the 6 or 7 road courses that are on the schedule, I think everyone's kind of acclimating to it. Whereas like, in the 90s or the 2000s when there was 1 or 2, you could get away with having 2 bad weekends for road courses. But I think everyone now is kind of adjusting to it. So it's definitely trickier for sure from the competition side. But I don't know. I guess we'll just see what the future holds.
It's been a topic of conversation over the last few weeks as we've kind of dwindled down the number of road courses in the Cup Series schedule, as in we've just completed most of them. We got the Roval coming up later in the year. The big talk is Shane Van Gisbergen winning the races, got 4 now. He's basically almost top of the playoff standings from his road course wins. People are upset with the fact that he can win all these races, make the playoffs, just because he's winning the road courses. Trackhouse is playing the game, right? This is a guy that's going to get you super high in the standings. It's a guaranteed top 16 playoff spot from a business perspective. That's a lot more money. They give him a multi-year extension. Have you really had a stance on the whole deal as far as the people that are kind of having an uproar of the fact that he just kicks everybody's ass on the road courses? And I feel like he's going to figure it out on the oval someday. We see him starting to do so already, but have you had a stance? Have you read all those tweets and whatevers of people kind of complaining about it?
No, I don't really divulge into the whole social media side of things. But I don't know. I mean, you look at it, what's the Cup schedule? 36, 38 races?
36 points.
36. Okay, so 6 of those are road courses. So I think if you can go out and like Shane, for example, if he can go out and dominate on a road course, then I think he's more than deserving to be in the playoffs. I mean, if you can go and win a race in the regular season and that locks you into the playoffs, I think that's more than deserving, whether it's a oval or road course, whatever it is. Like I said, I think he's been doing a great job. Obviously, what would you say? It's been 4 now, 4 in a row or something.
It's won them all but Coda.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's very well deserved of a playoff spot. And then, I mean, the system's just going to take care of itself. He's either going to continue to have the success or he's not. So, I don't know. I don't really see an issue with it. But what do I know?
I don't mind it. I mean, the guy's a dog, and the playoffs have 16 drivers. It's a lot of drivers, right, than we had in the past. When we had the chase, it was 10, 12. Now we got 16. We kind of just let everybody in a sense. People are upset about, the lack of points battle we're going to see with the winners. But I think if somebody can go out there and win 4 races on the schedule, like you said, it's 6, 7 of the 36 races that we have on the schedule. So clearly he's shown that he's got it. And with all the winnings, the money that they're getting, the experience that he's getting, I think he's got it. And the playoff points that he's getting as well. I think he's got a shot to certainly make it out of the first round with all the shenanigans that happen in the NASCAR Cup Series these days. I think putting yourself at a points advantage is fantastic. You go into the second round where then we have the Roval. he can go out and just win that, make the next round. And boy, I think we talked about it before, but we got Talladega in the final round to decide the final four for a championship. And why not Shane Van Gisbergen go out and have a great finish or win the race at Talladega? Steven?
God, I can't wait for Austin Cindric to make the final four after winning Talladega.
He's a dog in super speedways.
I will say this. My problem with the playoffs here is actually not Shane getting in. It's actually the amount of road courses we have. And I think I touched on this earlier. Like, I think 7 is too many. I think I feel the same way about road courses that do super speedways. I think 4 is the number. Like, I think 4 is the magic number for both of those. And that's just my take on it. Like, that's just whether or not you want to agree or disagree is up to you. 7 is over a sixth of the schedule. That's basically as many short tracks as we have. And I do not think NASCAR as a series should ever outnumber short tracks with road courses. Like, short tracks are our bread and butter. That's kind of what we came from, right? And I think the super speedways are entirely too many. But that's my take on it. I don't have a problem with Shane rocketing up. My take is I don't think he'll make the round of 12 anyway. I think he has to average something like, there was a tweet about this where somebody did the math of who is the lowest scoring points total to advance to the round of 12 ever. And it was Ricky Stenhouse a few years ago, did it with 2,069 points. Nice. No, that is not a joke. That is legitimately the number. And he did that. That's about a 20th place finish, right? And SVG does not average a 20th place finish at the tracks in the round of 16. So whether or not that'll be the case, he could always stage point his way in, figure out some strategy calls. Chaos can always unfold with the next-gen car. We know that. So I'm not counting him out, but I think he'll still, even with all those playoff points, find his way into my first round eliminations. I think that's actually probably at this point a hot take. 24 playoff points is a lot of fucking playoff points. That's a ton of playoff points. So,
yeah, it's a significant advantage. What do you think, Austin? Seven road courses, 6, 5, 8, 9, 10?
36 probably at this point.
I don't know. I mean, I think the way they got it now is pretty good. Obviously, it's a minority of all the races, as it should be. But it adds, I don't even know the right word. Just adds, just difference in the schedule. I mean, after a while, it's great to have the super speedways and the short tracks and the mile and a half, but I think from a fan perspective, they kind of want to see the road courses, and as we all know, the road courses are always usually very chaotic, whether it's trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's from a fan side. I think it is good because it kind of grabs the listener. It kind of keeps you on your seat. And I don't know. I know people are not going to agree with me. Maybe I'm biased on the road course side, but no. Like I said, I think it just adds just difference to it.
No, I know what it is.
Road courses too. If I had an average finish of 8th freaking place,
I know what it is. I know what it is, guys. Because to me, Saturday's race, the battles we saw for the lead, especially on those restarts, give me a bunch more of them. Right, an Xfinity race, give me a ton of them. NASCAR Cup Series road courses back in 2021, next gen car, give them to me. But people have been watching the product we've been seeing on Sundays, and they don't want to see them anymore. Yeah. And they're also going to watch the short track races now and say, well, I don't want to see that. People watched the Cup race Sunday at Iowa, last week and said, oh, this race stunk. There's probably people out there Iowa must stink because the Cup Series race wasn't good. No, it's not Iowa. Iowa's a great track. Iowa's a fun track. Those Xfinity standalone races back in the day were like one of my favorite races to watch back in 17, 18, before that, 14, 15, 16, those standalone races where they'd go there twice a year to Iowa. Those guys would put on a show. Sometimes I wouldn't even know who'd be in the field, but you know what? They'd be putting on a show, and it'd be a good time to watch. So I think it's just exactly what Steven started the show off with. I think it's the next gen car. I think if we were getting the same racing that we were getting on Saturdays, I don't think people would really be complaining as much.
That's a great point. Think about how good the Mexico City race was in Xfinity.
Oh,
And what a snoozer it was in Cup. I didn't even think about that. Like the Mexico City Xfinity race was a banger. The 54 and 88 took each other out. There was Suarez, who was backup card in last place, found his way to the front to win in his home race. Like that was a race loaded with great storylines and great intrigue. And then we got SVG winning by 22 seconds. Again, the dominance not being my problem. The fact is nobody else was moving spots first through 20th. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of the same old.
Yeah. Same old Dookie, as they say. And that will segue us here into our Densey segment where we let the fans ask our guests some questions. It was absolutely flooded with this same type of question here. Like there was like at least like 10 of them that I first looked at. Austin Green going full time. When is he going to go full time? I'm sure, those are things that you work out, but realistically, I know this is something you probably want to do in the future is be a full-time driver racing for a championship someday. Is that something that you're kind of hard working on every day?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's always the main goal. I think for anybody that wants to race is just run full time. So, that's my goal. Obviously, always continuously working to get that done. What to say? Is there full-time Xfinity trucks? Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
more trucks.
Yeah, definitely. I've never ran a truck.
I haven't been in a truck yet.
Never love to run one. I think they're, from what I've heard, they are a blast to drive.
Josh Riome.
No. I do believe you have an open seat at the Roval, Austin. I'm just saying, if you want to do some double duty,
What's that?
Go take that car to a top 15 finish. So,
he said he's got an open truck at the Roval.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Potentially.
Oh boy. I'm available.
You can hear the excitement in his voice.
He's available. He's ready to go. And that Roval could be chaotic. First time Truck Series is going to the Roval. You could be a part of some very either chaotic or, insane history there with the Truck Series.
They're so much easier to drive than the Xfinity car. It's crazy. Like they're like at Pocono, for example, you don't even really brake in a truck. Like you just lift. And that's like insane to think about. Meanwhile, if you try to do that in an Xfinity car, you're probably going to end up dead. Like it's
right.
Unbelievable how much drag there is and how much easier it is to drive a truck than it is in my humble opinion. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But
maybe Austin will find out for himself here soon.
Yes.
That'll move us to the next super hard-hitting question here. Evan Durson says, what's your favorite fast food restaurant?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't really like fast food. I try to eat healthy. I try to cook at home. But oh gosh, maybe Chick-fil-A.
What?
Yes.
Great answer.
Oh,
that
your favorite. I thought he said least favorite. Okay. I was about to lose my mind. I don't know why I read that question as least favorite. Okay, I was about to lose it. No, that's a good answer. That's a great answer.
RJ, if you come up to the Roval, I think we know what to get Austin as a little gift there. So we'll give him a little a Chick-fil-A gift card might be in the works for Austin Green. Hey, you can't go wrong with it. It's one of my personal favorites too.
Right.
Imagine just rip the Chick-fil-A plug right there. And that's not even a sponsor. That's how far this guy goes. This guy goes for his people. He goes all the way, baby. Austin, my question to you is what's your favorite steakhouse chain?
Steakhouse chain?
Steakhouse chain.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Texas Roadhouse, I guess.
God damn it.
Steven's a little biased. Steven is very biased, Austin, unfortunately. So he's a hard nut to crack. We'll say that.
Oh,
yes, give it.
Outback is very good too.
Thank
will
you.
say.
Thank you. That's all I needed from you, Austin. That's all I needed. All I needed. That's my duty for the show. I just have to get
Yeah.
somebody to stay Outback Steakhouse.
Listen,
episode.
Austin, we're here to ask the hard hitting questions, and these last few were definitely those hard hitting questions. So
I see that.
So all right, so at my side hustles being a manager at Chick-fil-A. It's an amazing time. What's your favorite menu item? You got to tell me that now.
Oh, come on. We're not still on this. The guy had to reach so deep into his bag to come up with Chick-fil-A.
He's got to know what this
Added
go
in the
to.
last year.
When am I bringing him in Charlotte in October?
Are we talking lunch or breakfast?
We're going out.
Ooh.
That is a good question, though.
that is a damn good question.
Really,
I don't know, I'd say lunch, probably the I mean, you got to go with a chicken sandwich, man. That's just classic. Got to go with that. So Chick-fil-A was actually my first job when I was 15 in high school.
Wow.
My first job.
Wow.
And how long did you do that for?
I think a year.
Oh, hell yeah. There
A
we go.
year or two. No, I think a year. Then I went to Audubon, finished out high school there, and then went to college. Still kind of worked at Audubon, and then in college, I think my sophomore year, I was a bar back at one of the local bars in town. So it was interesting to see.
It's a good
So
time.
you've been through some hoops. You've been through it all.
Oh yeah, good old 9 to 5, you know.
Everybody's,
I know.
Well,
Everybody-
the bar job was a little rough because it was 5 p.m. to 2 a.m.
You don't
Ooh.
gotta tell me. I used to do the Domino's delivery. Shit.
We'd always have to stay and clean, right? So like, I don't know, we'd probably leave at 3, go home, and then or go to my apartment, and then I have class at like 11. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's college. It was fun.
Yeah.
That's fair.
They say it's an experience, and boy, that sounds like an experience.
It was for sure. But
Stories
Made a lot of
to tell, and that's what we do here on the Motor Stardom Show. So Austin, we thank you so much for joining us. You are an absolute dog on every discipline of racing, types of racetracks. We know you're going to keep killing it throughout your career, and just like everybody was asking, we're going to see this guy full time here soon. So appreciate you coming on, man, and we will certainly have to circle back sometime, maybe in the off season.
absolutely, yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Austin Green. What a wonderful show that was.
Wait, I got something to add real quick now that he's off the air. I did look it up because I was curious because I said something that was like actually a crazy stat poll, which is or maybe I didn't say it, but like I thought, has Austin Green lost to anyone who's not in one of the big 4 Xfinity teams this season? In the last 4 Xfinity races, no. Austin Green has not lost to a car that was not prepped by JRM RCR. That includes Big Machine, Joe Gibbs Racing, or Haas. Not a single time. Not once. That is an unbelievable stat. Like, that's crazy to be that consistently dominant in mid-tier equipment in a road course car. That's awesome. That's like a crazy stat. I don't think people are going to realize how crazy that is, but that's driving like my racing tingly senses crazy. Love that stat, and I'm going to carry that with me. So, thanks for listening.
You are the statistician here
We didn't have a choice.
during the show.
Mason, I'm gonna get a loan for $75,000, run Daytona, and dump you. That's what I'm gonna do, baby.
Oh, baby.
No, I'm kidding. If anything, and then I'll kiss you. I'll kiss you like Ricky
All
Bobby.
right. Let's watch this one.
All right,
Wicked.
Sorry.
Boom!
man.
You know, this isn't the first time this has happened to Michael McDowell.
No, I kid you not. I remember seeing that for the first time on TV, and I immediately thought of McDowell's wreck here in 2014.
I saw him when he was like up in the air. I was like, bro, he literally did this shit like 10 years ago. I was like,
Yeah, a little over a decade ago. This is the exact wreck happened, and that right around that spot. That was wild.
Well,
I'm glad everybody was okay in this wreck. Like, in all seriousness, though, like,
Yeah,
we talked about the carnage and everything like that, but we got to remember, like, there's no safer barrier at Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
It's either tire barrier or it's guardrail, and those aren't easy hits. So I'm glad everybody was okay. Obviously, Ellis's wreck was definitely scary, so glad everybody walked away okay, unscathed, and we were able to continue racing. And then same thing with Connor Zilich, man. I can't stress enough. I think I speak on everybody's behalf when I say we are so grateful to see that he is okay after that nasty fall, as well as SVG. There was a lot to unpack during that whole Xfinity Series race, more than just the wrecks and more than just the racing. So glad everybody was okay. And we move on to, well, Xfinity's off for Richmond, so it's just Cup and Truck. But then we'll hopefully move on to Daytona and hopefully keep the carnage somewhat under control. I say that lightly because Daytona is going to do Daytona, so we'll see how the cards fall.
I think the game plan for Daytona for him should be right around stage 1 in the back and then just get out. Like, don't risk it. Don't risk that type of hard wreck with a bad collarbone.
And Stephen Malazzi gets in the 88 car.
What? With an also broken collarbone? Crazy. We're swapping collarbone for collarbone. Yeah, but racing at Richmond is very different than racing at Daytona, right? And I'm also I broke my collarbone 6 weeks ago, right? Like, he broke his collarbone 6 days ago, 4 days ago.
Hey, man.
So, like, I don't know. It is doable. I don't think people are like, oh, that's going to take like 3 months to heal. No, it won't. He's going to be fine. Like, the guy is a trooper. He will absolutely be racing. I think anytime after Daytona, I think he's in the race car. I don't think he's going to miss it. His dad, though. So I'm friends with his dad on Facebook from a long time ago because I've known the Ziliches for a pretty decent amount of time. I didn't know them super well when I go-karted, but I knew them well enough to be friends with his dad on Facebook. And his dad was like, well, at least Connor shitting himself is not the most embarrassing thing to happen to him anymore. And I'm like, dude, and this was before JRM released a statement that, like, he was out of the hospital. And I'm like,
that's all right.
I'm like, Jim, I'm so glad to know that he's clearly okay if his dad's talking about him pooping himself. So I thought that was so funny.
Definitely big shout out to.
In all seriousness, glad that he's okay. That is going to follow that kid around forever. He's going to win Cup championships, and that's going to be like, that made ABC World News tonight. Like, that is like
I can't even watch it because, like, I just cringe. Like, and I'm just like,
first time I saw it, I was like, because I didn't see it live. Like, I was away doing other stuff, and I just see a tweet notification about it. Yo, hope Connor's okay. I'm like, what do you mean, hope he's okay? Like, he won the race. What happened? And I look at and I get to see the video, and I'm like, oh my god, I cringe so hard at that because I'm like, you don't know what kind of fault. I've gathered that he's fell off the top of his car, but I'm like, how did he do it? Did he do it this way? And I'm like, damn, that is wicked. The way he body just flung like a damn. What do they call those? The little things that are on the road like this. Blow up things.
Man.
Dude, I usually keep the post race on in the background when the race ends. So I was like doom scrolling on my phone or something else, like completely different. And I hear Adam Alexander and it's like somber, somebody's getting cut out of the race car voice. Being like, oh, and with that, we'll step away. Like super somber, no music in the commercial. So I look up and I'm like, what the hell just happened? And I take to Twitter and then all of a sudden there's Connor Zilich fallen, big time injury. So kind of crazy for CZ 88 there, but he's well on his way to potentially being an Xfinity Series champion this year, despite 2 injuries.
Yeah,
I feel like when was the last time somebody broke or had 2 serious injuries in a single NASCAR season? If it's ever happened,
probably not to my memory. There's been times where drivers missed 2 chunks of time during a season when Chase Elliott got suspended, but obviously they were both
different. Yeah,
but definitely shout out for Connor Zilich to being okay. We'll roll through some shout outs here before we end the show. Shout out to Alex Palou, who's now a 10-time IndyCar Series champion, clinched his title in freaking August, which hell yeah, go IndyCar. Dominant year for him. winning as many races as he did. There was some news in the truck series. Shout out to Andres Perez for finding himself a ride after he was canned from Spire Motorsports, making some organizational moves. He was basically the odd man out there. Now that 07 teams, which has probably had zero success this season, I don't remember them running up front at all, is now the 77 team, which Corey LaJoy will run the rest of the year. But Andres Perez finds himself a home at Nice, which opened a spot because Caden Honeycutt was gone, who went to Homer Friesen. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the truck series. Anyways, shout out as well to Shane Van Gisbergen. We mentioned it earlier, 2-year extension or multi-year extension with Trackhouse Racing. They've decided that he is the guy that is going to stick in that car full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series for years to come and continuing to get them checkered flags. And as well, as we talked about earlier as well, shout out Ryan Ellis for escaping this gigantic gaping hole in his windshield after that gigantic wreck. Any others? Shout out to John Vellucci.
Yes, cue the graphic. Cue the graphic.
Great
Because
guy.
you know what, boys? We're back, baby. Richmond Raceway. Here we come this week. So excited to finish 33rd. It's going to be my greatest feat of all time. And one D&Q this week. Shocking from the truck series that we've got a healthy field this week. So
one
Yeah.
DNQ. You got to qualify.
Yeah, we got one D&Q coming up.
I'm actually 29th in owners points, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
No,
right.
we got a couple of extras. I mean, we got Carson Quapple in a extra CR7 truck. We got the Mike Harmon truck going with Caleb Costner.
Caleb Costner.
Norm Benning. Another one that's going, and a fourth Nice truck as well is going to the track with Matt Gould. So there's a lot of stuff brewing up in the truck series the last.
I got this
couple
going.
weeks.
Former Motor Stardom show guest, Patty S. He's going to be in the 84.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Patrick Starpoli's back in the 84 with
Cook Racing Technologies.
Cook Racing.
Yeah, don't question me, Maggio. I'm on my game, baby. I stare at that entry list. Okay, I get erections to that entry.
Who's your crew chief for this weekend? Is it?
All right.
Amir Alexander. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I think it's
Will.
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
So,
It's your damn crew chief.
I don't know. I don't keep track of that.
It's going to be me from my couch.
Crew chief is Will.
Well, yeah. I once flipped out at Todd Parrott, which is, I think, an all-time moment for me. You know, Cup Series winning crew chief for Dale Jarrett. Cup championship winning crew chief for
Champion.
Dale.
Yeah.
And I flipped out at him because my battery died on lap 26 at Gateway, and I freaking lost it. And I always think that's such a random moment that Todd Parrott ended up crew chiefing Stephen Malazzi. So, I mean, that's kind of
Well, cue the music. Cue the outro.
wow. RJ's done. He doesn't want to keep this going anymore.
The goons.
That's RJ Starcevic. He's done with tonight's show. He's over, and he's got a morning shift or some shit. That's Mason Maggio. He's been a little depressed today. So everybody give Mason Maggio a thumbs up in the chat. I'm Stephen Malazzi. I'm sunburnt from building chairs all day. Wait, hang on. Well, which one was it? It's another Stardom
Forehead
show.
looked massive. All
We
right.
do stupid shit like this every week where we wear hats sideways, talk about racing. We have really interesting guests. This week it was Austin Green, who's really, really good at road courses. Next week, who's it going to be? I don't know. I hear it might be another truck series driver, but RJ has not confirmed that with me yet. So I won't spoil anything. How will you find out? How will you ever know? How could you possibly guess who it might be? Well, there's one answer to that. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m. We'll see you at the Motor Stardom Show.
Shout out Josh Rione.
Tony Maggio, who watches every week.